it's kind of interesting because growing up in Chicago, I really did not expect to live past 21. Now, it's interesting because the neighborhood I grew up in was Black P Stone Nation, Black Stone Rangers. You're from Chicago, you've heard of that before. Okay? And it's interesting because Chicago isn't like other places. Like you hear about things like organizations forming for peaceful reasons, for reasons to help the community, and you hear that about gangs and organizations, gangs in LA. You hear that, you hear about things like that, right? You hear about people getting funding for those kind of things, right? But that's a literal truth for gangs in Chicago. Some gangs in Chicago got an initial funding, however they did, starting off as an organization, from a grant from the government, literally. Okay? So Chicago gangs stand in a very unique place. They stand in a very unique place. And the thing about Chicago, like when I hear about, Treyway, right? Tekashi 6ix9ine and all that stuff that happened in New York in the past few years, right? We talking about hearing about things like Bloods and Crips. Like for real, like Bloods and Crips. You're hearing about that kind of stuff, right? I'm like, why is Bloods and Crips in New York? Like for real. Like that doesn't make sense to me, right? I hear about Bloods and Crips, yeah, but I don't hear about Bloods and Crips in Chicago like that. Because Chicago gangs didn't let them infiltrate and take over like that. So you will see Bloods and Crips and all kinds of things all over the place, right? You'll see all over the place, right? But you won't see it all over the place in Chicago. Because Chicago has its own list of organizations. Lots of them, okay? So growing up, it's the environment I grew up in. Nothing strange about it because the truth of the matter is I never belonged to a gang. Not one time in my life, right? I never affiliated with a gang whatsoever because where I'm different than what I see younger generations, right? Millennials, things like that, is that they didn't really grow up in the hood, right? And what do I mean by growing up in the hood? There's a thing about going outside and your mother, your parent saying to you, look, you be on this porch, you be in this house before the street lights turn on. There's something about that because what did we do? Always go outside, right? I always went outside. So I knew I was a part of the neighborhood. Everybody in the neighborhood knew me. I knew everybody in the neighborhood. I am a member of this neighborhood, right? And literally, the OGs, the people in the community, they almost have an idea who's going to go in what direction and who should not go in what direction. And it was always for me, this is not you. This is not what you're going to do. Not from my family, literally from males in the neighborhood. Like, this is not for you. You're smart. You're this. You need to do that stuff over there. So it was always you're placed in a certain place for me, and this other stuff is not for you. I remember clearly not getting in a car where people went over and, retaliated on some folks. And I was told, literally, this is not for you. No. Do you learn some of the hood stuff that you need to learn? Well, yeah. And how to make a gun, you know, one shot zip gun where you can kill yourself. Yeah. You learn all that kind of stuff, right? You learn what to deal with, what not to deal with, right? You learn lingo in that area, right? You in your neighborhood, you're safe. But that's in your neighborhood. Once you leave your neighborhood, the colors you're wearing, the way you tilt your hat, because it's going to be straight to the front or straight to the back. Otherwise, you might have a problem. Even tilt it a little bit, right? Could mean something. Could mean between you getting home safely or you getting home injured or you never coming home again. Like literally never coming home again. And so there's something about the neighborhood, but the neighborhood took care of me. Okay? And I appreciate that more than anyone could ever realize. Like literally, I appreciate that more than anyone can realize because I didn't have a whole lot of males to help me navigate, right? And even though these males didn't help me navigate, right? They were guys you would look to and you had a decision to make. My decision was, I don't want to be like them. I don't want to be stuck in the neighborhood. I don't want to have this half a mile radius to be where I can only be at and I can't leave it. I don't want that situation. And so I knew to do everything that they didn't do. That's what I knew. Just whatever they doing, don't do that. And that's how you can get up out of here, right? I made sure I didn't go to school in the neighborhood. Okay. I went to a school that was probably 3 to 5 miles away. Maybe that. Okay. Chicago Vocational High School. The Center for Violence and Sex. You know, started there in about 88, you know, went there through 92. Actually, I dropped out, so I didn't actually graduate from there, even though I always claimed CVS class of 92. But the interesting thing is, I learned so much once I started leaving the neighborhood, because it wasn't just about the neighborhoods that was adjacent to my neighborhoods. My problem is we was broke. And in being broke, I had to learn a few things. I remember one of my cousins. I don't have a lot of male cousins, right? But one of my cousins, Ernest, he literally said to me, you know, Devon, I always will have respect for you because when we were kids, I remember you walking from 79th and Halsted all the way to school regularly, on a regular basis. Like, I wouldn't have money to take the bus because there was no yellow school buses that would come pick you up, right? So I had to take the regular public transportation and didn't have money to do that. So I would go ahead and walk. Just go ahead and walk to school, right? Walk home. But in walking to school and walking home, what my cousin reminded me about that I didn't remember is I had to walk through a lot of different neighborhoods. And those neighborhoods represented different types of gangs. And I've been chased through some neighborhoods. I had to learn how to navigate to get around certain particular hot spots to get back to my neighborhood or get to my safe spot at school. You know, I remember that being a big transition at school in terms of gangs and all these fights happening, because the thing that's interesting is there was a dismantling of the Black Peace Stones, right? because I believe Jeff Fort went to jail. He was a co-founder. I believe he went to jail in 87, 86, 87, 88. And so you started having these shifts in power that were happening around in the neighborhoods, right? Because the one thing that you have to understand, if you take a snake and you cut the head off of the snake, you just got rid of the leader. You chop it up in smaller pieces, and now you have smaller factions fighting for territory, power. So the government comes in and they do things to the organizations under their operations and things of that nature to indict folks or whatever it is, and it has a ripple effect, right? It has a ripple effect.